Okay. Hey guys, welcome to the second episode of the well, I guess the DFO thoughts thing. I guess it's called Party Code now. That's what I decided to name it. And seeing how this is really not a podcast format, which is pointed out by one of my somebody left a comment, and which is true. This is not really a podcast format. So since there is no audio download, so it's going to, because it's always going to have video somewhere in the middle of this. So this, the decision is I just make it something like kind of like, if you guys know esports, and kind of like Thorin's thoughts. So just like thoughts that I'm just sharing with you guys and stuff. Yeah. Well, anyways, so for episode 2, I was about to talk about the different versions that I've actually played on before and after DFO. That's something that's important in my opinion. So for DFO, actually, then just look it up on the Wikipedia. Gen and Fighter. Okay, Did You Fight Online? Cool. So okay, in Korea, it's actually released back in 2005, and for me personally, I started playing Dungeon Fighter Online on Arad Senki, which is the Japanese version. I actually tried it out after seeing a post in a Taiwanese forum about games, and I played the Arad Senki on the closed beta version when it was ran by Hung Games, not next on Japan yet. So yeah, this game was originally ran by Hung Game, even like originally in Korea, in Japan. They were all run by Hung Game, and then eventually they both transferred their ownership of the game to Nexon. As Nexon, well, I believe they bought Nyopo. Anyways, so Dungeon Fighter, I started playing in Arad, which I got into a guild called Fates 4, which is back then there were a few guilds in Korean version, there were a few guilds in the Japanese version. I chose the Japanese version because I can sort of read it, and I can also actually, and another thing is there is no IP block on Canadian IPs. So then I decided, hey, why not, right? I believe the Chinese version was already up and running at the time that I rejoined. So what happened was, for closed beta, I was in the Japanese server, and then the open beta, or I think it's the open beta or the actual beginning of the service, it's the release of Mage as a class. So you know, like Mage, and then back then there was no Witch and everything. There was like 3 classes of Mage, and Priest didn't exist, obviously, because Priest is the Act 5 in Season 1. Yeah, so I was playing that. I only got to the Mage era, and then I just stopped playing because it was one, it was in Japanese. Back then I wasn't that fluent, or you know, I wasn't that good at reading it, and I had to guess. And there was really not that much to do back then. I mean, this is talking about like Sky Tower is the highest level you get to. Sky Tower was like endgame. Can you imagine that Sky Tower being sort of endgame? I mean, I think the max level was 40 when I was playing, which goes to the Aphelias, and that's about it. That was the endgame. Yeah. So there really wasn't much to do. I was playing a gunner when I first started. So my friend was playing Slayer, another one was playing Fighter, so then we were just playing, you know, I was playing Gunner, and then we tried out PvP, the really OP PvP that was kind of broken and everything, but it was a lot of fun. So then I kept this game in my mind for a while, and I went back to the games that I used to play, which is Maple Story and Ragnarok Online. Probably Ragnarok Online, because back then I probably didn't really want to play Maple Story that much already, because this is 2006ish. So anyways, I went back to Arad before the American server was announced, so then basically I started playing in the Japanese version again in 2008, I believe, and I joined a guild called Fates 4, which is ran by a friend of mine right now. Let me just find it. Okay, I don't know why I can't find it right now. That's really weird, actually. That's Lemona. Nope, there we go. Yeah. So I was in this guild in the Japanese version, and it was I mean, the guild itself, there's not that many people active. I think there was like 10 people active at the time when we were playing the Japanese server. It was pretty cool, I guess, but then Eventually, I burned out, right? And then back then the max level was 60, and then again, there's not actually nothing to do when you get, you know, up there. That's something. Yep, I believe this. So this is the website that my old guild leader is starting. It's called Fates 4. Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm joining this guild yet, because like I said, I don't know. I was part of 3 different guilds in DFO. Oh, wait, no, 2 different guilds in DFO. Not including my own, because my own guild is like not active and stuff, right? Just me. I just put my stuff in my guild because it was there and it has some good levels. So then why not? But because at the end people just, you know, unless you're in a big guild, the guild just can't be active. People probably shop like their random level 30 character, because I don't have a requirement. Just like, oh, you can be any level, you can be chill, you don't have to do anything to the PvP or anything. So my guild was not active. Well, that doesn't matter. Anyways, what I'm saying is I was part of 2 guilds back then, so I might join one of those instead of this, my old Arad Senki guild. Anyways, so this is basically Arad Senki we're talking about. There's not much to say. I was originally planning to invite my old guild leader, but I didn't have time at the end, so I didn't invite him to be a guest to this episode. But eventually, I'm pretty sure I will have to get him as a guest, because eventually, I mean, he is my first guild leader, and he was the one that taught me things about the, you know, about the ropes in Arasenke back then. Okay, so obviously, and then the closed beta, alpha, you know, early access, whatever, started for DFO. The Nexon version, I joined, I got in because I was experienced, and I started playing the American version since then. You know, got really far. Oh, I was able, like, right before the game shut off, I decided to go and try to break my Eleanor, and which was plus 12 at the time, and then it went to plus 14. I was like, why didn't I just do this earlier? I could have had a plus 14 for a long time. But anyways, you know, I wasn't gonna risk it. Like, Eleanor is not that easy to get. I mean, it took a lot of farming and everything, and especially after they took it out of the Epic shop, it's a lot harder. Anyways, so after DFO, I think this is the most important part, because after the DFO has closed, which, yeah, the shutdown was done in 2013. So what happened between 2013 and 2015, right? I had nothing to do. I didn't know what to do, actually. So, I briefly did Chinese DNF when I realized that DFO... Okay, so DFO was announced to be having an alpha last year in 2014. Like mid-2014 or something. I think it's June? May 15 was the global version using the latest English version based. Okay, so yeah, it's almost been a year. It's like it's 10 months already, right? So back in the alpha test, I played it and I was like, okay, I really do miss DFO, because after I stopped playing DFO, what did I play? I didn't play anything. I played like what? I just played League of Legends like everybody else, and I played I tried to go back to RO again. I did, and then it's kind of on and off thing, right? For me in RO, it's just I play and I stop playing, and I play and I stop playing. That's for me. That's RO for me, at least. So then I started playing Chinese DNF because I want to bring my friend who to come play DFO with me, but he doesn't know anything about DFO. So I'm like, let's get used to it. We go to Chinese version, and then I try to get him to, you know, get used to it. And then I really did not like it, because the Chinese DNF is plagued with a lot of bad things. Like, for example, multi-boxing. I'm not sure if you guys know what that is, but multi-boxing is basically putting up 2 clients of DFO at the same time, so then you can carry yourself through a dungeon, through other verse, or something like that. It's a very common practice in China, because they cheat a lot, basically, if you ask me. So the official what's the word? The publisher of DFO in China actually released a program to allow you to multi-box without cheating, because back then you had to use like a different, not like third-party program to do that, right? But then they're like, oh yeah, well, I mean, we know our player like to do this, and then so then they're like, okay, cool, we'll just release a official version of the multi-box. But that's basically cheating, because you're not supposed to multi-box. That's not something you're supposed to be doing. So it's not just that. I mean, obviously there's like a lot of bots, a lot of hacks, And I remember seeing this forum post in the Chinese forum, which is like, oh, do you guys think it's wrong if we go into like other verse and then somebody's hacking? And then like nothing wrong with it. And then I think it was a vote. So then at the end, the general consensus from the Chinese community is like, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, you got in, and then like you don't even quit after that, because they don't really care if you get hacked. You know, like the Chinese publisher, they don't care what's going on in the game. They don't care if you're hacking or cheating or botting. I mean, that's their business, right? That's why there are so many gold farmers and gold sellers in our version that's from China, because in China they just don't give a crap. They don't really care about their game's quality, in my opinion. So that's why I really didn't want to join. Well, I did for a bit, so I can get my friend used to it, because he reads Chinese. So we went there, played a little bit. I really didn't like it. But the only good thing for me was that I was able to play Elven Knight, because I really wanted to try out Elven Knight at the time. And so I did. I played Elven Knight for a bit. Let's see. I don't think I uploaded any videos of me playing Elven Knight. I may have, but I probably did not. Because I'm looking through my videos right now and I don't really see anything. Global relaunch, yeah. It's after making these global relaunch videos, right? So there's that. And then I decided that, okay, cool. I want to go back to Korean version if I can. So I found a way to get into the Korean version, so I started playing the Korean version after that, and that was during the time that Second Awakening of Female Gunner is happening. So you guys can see out of my videos, I had a lot of like random stuff, like, you know, female ranger, like, see the level 48 female ranger, the new one. I actually really enjoy the new female ranger. It's so much more fun, and it's a lot stronger too, in my opinion. But then again, everything seems so strong in the new version. I don't know what happened, but then it just feels like everybody's so strong. You can solo dungeons like it's nothing, without anything really. So yeah, there's that. I mean, this is the second time I came back to Korean version. I believe that the time frame for this actually was like basically during the summertime. I was actually playing on the Korean version, because I don't really like the Chinese version, and I decided to, and then my friend got the hang of it, and I was like, yeah, I was just showing him the ropes, so then it doesn't really matter which version we're playing for I mean, I don't have to, you know, always show him the ropes. Like, he played a little bit, and he kind of trained by himself, and he's like, yeah, I kind of get it. So then since he got it, I was like, okay, yeah, cool, then I'm just gonna, you know, leave him alone and just go play Korean version myself. And I started doing that, and it's really cool. I didn't get that far though. I got to like 60 something, and then I can't remember why I just stopped. I mean, I was in part of the English guild, and then we were having fun. I was, you know, actually dungeoning with people too. But I think it was just I was just burnt out, because I was playing ranger, and the higher level you go, the harder it is for a gunner to survive by themselves solo. And it just got a little bit annoying for me, and I just didn't, you know, hang on to it. But yeah, so that's basically my adventure back in the other versions. Did you guys play any other versions when the DFO was down? Did you guys try Chinese version? Because I know a lot of the American players went to the Chinese version after the Chinese version. I mean, after the American version shut down, because Chinese version doesn't have IP block. They don't have any restrictions in making an account. The Korean version is really hard to make an account because of the restriction they put on. So yeah, did you guys do anything after DFO is gone? Did you guys just move on to other games, or did you guys play other games? Play other versions? Yeah, let me know in the comments. I'm very interested in knowing what you guys did for, you know, after DFO is gone. Because personally, I think DFO is the best online game I've personally ever played. The reason for that is I'm a big fan of actually being able to control a lot of aspects. What I mean by that is, like, for example, skill tree. Let's say in MapleStory, stats and skills don't matter. Why? Because everybody's gonna be the same at the end. Oh, are you a thief? Okay, you're a thief, so guess what? What stat are you gonna be getting? You're gonna be getting luck. Okay, can a warrior get luck? Yeah, you can get luck, but what's the point? You don't get any status bonus. This is not like... See, this started from RO. Because back in RO, which is my first online game by the way, RO had status point system. And it is a very nice... I think it's a very nice and complicated one as well. So, basically, if let's say I'm a warrior, I want to have some critical and some lucky dodge, then I can click luck. Even if it's not the best stat for me, I will still end up having the critical and the lucky dodge or perfect dodge. So or let's say I'm a wizard, I can still get strength and I can just whack people with my wand. I mean, it doesn't add to my skill or anything, but I can do it. It's part of me. I can choose that. But in MapleStory, that's not the case. You don't do that. You can't do that. I mean, yes, in DFO, that's the same case. You don't get to do your own stats. There's no stat point, but the skill tree makes up for it. So in RO, let's say I'm playing a knight. There are so many different ways to build a knight. What can I be? Can I be a two-hand sword AGI knight that slashes really fast? Yeah. If I want to be a spear knight, I can be very tanky with vitality and like that. Yeah. I get choices in RO. I get choices in DFO. That's the reason why I love this game, because you just feel like you're in control in a lot of aspects. But when we're talking about something like you know, like again, I'll refer back to MapleStory, because these RO, MapleStory, and DFO are the games that I played the longest. I just, personally for me, if I don't get the freedom to choose what stat and actually see the stat matter, I just can't get, you know, into the game as well that much. For example, in DFO, for elementalists, what do you go? You can go pure dark. I mean, that was a popular build back then. I mean, it's not that good now, but back then people were going pure dark or like pure, I don't know, fire if you want. So you get choices. You can't. Your skill tree is so diverse. You are able to. I mean, the newer classes nowadays are not as good at doing this as the others. I mean, okay, there are probably, for example, Elven Knight. We probably get like 2 or 3 different skills that people kind of go like, oh, maybe I want one in that and like max the other one, or the other person go, oh, I want to max this one and not the other one. But there's probably maybe 3 skills that requires a decision, and everything else is kind of like, okay, I have to get it to max. I mean, if I don't get it, then I'm not Elven Knight, right? For example, the shield bashing move. If you don't get the shield bash, how can you be an Elven Knight? Elven Knight is all about the bash, you know, the shield bash. So what I'm trying to say is, DFO, especially the older classes, at least you get like the skill progression. It's like, okay, I will be different from, let's say, my friend that's playing an elementalist, because this person may have chose to be light and fire, while I chose to be dark and ice, and our playstyle will be entirely different as well, just from that. And so that's why, for example, even for Battle Mage, right? Battle Mage, this you can either do spear or you can do a stick. If you do a pole, then the pole is fast attack speed, you know, lots of combos, but then you have a lower physical attack. So what do? You use chasers. You are supposed to pump your int, and then you just like chaser everything, and that's very powerful. But then if you're a spear, what do? You can do back then in the level 70 version, the meteor palm. What was that called? Meteor something. Anyways, that skill, people just used it for like freaking, what, 500k damage per dash or whatever for spear battle mages. They don't really care about chasers. All the chaser do for them is buffing their, let's say, their strength using the fire chaser. Yeah, or using the dark chaser to buff their physical critical rate and that kind of stuff. That's all they use the chaser for. For them, they are more like a physical class that's just in your face and actually punching you. But they're the same class. They're both battle mages. They have the same skill set, but judging from what weapon you use and what skill you get, you are completely different. So that's one thing I personally really love about DFO, and something that I want to see other games do, but then I know they don't do that anymore. So yeah, if you ask me why I really like DFO this much, this is probably the biggest reason for me to like DFO as much as I do. I mean, so yeah, this is basically the reason why other games cannot satisfy me. Because if you go online now, if you just try finding any game, really, most of the games don't have stat system. Not anymore. Back in the RO ages, stat is so important because, okay, you have to plan for everything because you don't get resets. So then you're like, okay, I am going to be a monk as an acolyte. But acolyte don't benefit from, let's say, AGI or Vite or strength or whatever your monk stat's gonna be. They only so then you're like, okay, so what should I do? But your training pattern, training schedule, and everything, speed, they all change depending on what kind of build you're going for and what kind of class you're job changing to. And not to mention, at the end game, you have to plan out your cards too. So let's say, oh, okay, if I want to, let's say, reach the goal of 120 strength on my monk. Okay, so my job level will give me a bonus strength. So I had to go look at that, and I was, okay, it will give me, let's say, +7. Okay, +7 at max job level, which is, let's say, 70 for the transcendence. So okay, max job level, it gives me +7 strength, and let's say I can get, let's say the status maximum that you can put is 99. You cannot put more over 99. Well, now you can, but back then you cannot put more than 99. So how should I reach this 120? So what card should I use? Let's say this card that gives me +3 strength, and then this accessory that gives me +1 strength, and then I put the card in that one, so this one accessory will give me +4 strength. Okay, cool. So there's that +4, so then +4, +7, and then let's say weapon plus like some more strength or whatever. So then you kind of have to plan out, and so maybe you don't have to put 99 in your strength to reach 120, because your equipment and cards will actually will give you enough strength that you can, let's say, leave your strength at 80, 89. And then you will somehow reach 120, right? That's the thing I really enjoyed about RO. Just changing a tiny bit of stat and changing your setup in cards, it will make so much difference in your build and other people's build. I don't think unless you are like just completely copying somebody else's build, you are not going to have the exact same build as somebody else. There is no optimal build in RO because there are so many things you can do, right? You can be a PvPer, which means you probably want some vitality to survive. You want some, you want good strength. I'm talking about monks or champions at least. So you want strength so you can assault people. You want some int. You want dex so you can cast fast. But if you're MVP, let's say I'm an MVP champion. All I care about is doing the maximum damage while somebody else is gonna be tanking for me. So why should I care about casting fast? I can just forego on the entire dex thing and just go, oh, I'm gonna max my strength, max my int for the maximum SP count, and then probably some vitality to survive, or maybe some dex for a little bit of cast speed. I don't need like 99 dex to like instant cast or anything. I don't need to do that because I know that people will be tanking for me and I'm the MVP type of champion. Yeah, I won't be that good in, let's say, like a PvP or training situation maybe, but then I'll be so strong at taking down MVPs. That's my specialty. Or you can be a tank monk, which focuses on mental strength, which is a skill that blocks out 90% of the damage. Okay, so you can be a tank and just like get a bunch of vitality and then use the skill. Bam, I'm a tank now. So this is what I'm talking about. In RO, one class have so many different styles of playing. Even something binary like hunters. I think hunter are possibly the easiest class in RO to play. There's nothing special about them. It's like, okay, cool. I'm a hunter. I use a bow. So what do? I shoot it. Okay. So what adds my damage to my arrow? Dex. So everybody gets 99 dex. Because why? Why not? It's the way you're going to be doing damage. But just something so simple as this class, there are other things that actually influences. Okay, so even though I need to get dex for my attack. So do I want to be a skill spam type of hunter? So do I need int so I can get more SP to spam my skill? Or do I want to be a more normal attack kind? So should I get agility so I can shoot faster? Right? Something like that. Or maybe like cool. So either agility or int. And there's also another special type, which is the trapper. So what they specialize is in PvP or in War Imperium, they just trap people using traps. Okay, so what does a trapper need? They need a bunch of SP, so they probably want some int, so they can actually put a lot of traps. They need to buy traps. Well, buying traps is money, but then using zennies. But then so trapper, what do you need? You probably want different stats. And do you want to equip a bow as a trapper? Maybe you don't. Maybe you want to be equipping let's say a shield so you can block out damage better, so you can just survive in trap places that people like that's more in a more dangerous zone. And then even better, there's another type of hunter, which is because hunter get a kind of like a pet that will attack with you when you attack. It's a It's a hawk, I think. Yeah, hawk strike. Yeah, Hawkeye. Yeah, it's a hawk. Anyways, so there's a different type of build for that too, because when you're auto attacking, the hawk might go on and attack with you. What affects it? Luck. So do I need luck? And do I need attack? I probably need attack speed and luck. So then my hawk will fire more often and do damage, right? Oh, what gives the hawk damage? I believe it's int. So okay, so I need some int, and then you still need the dex. So then the stats gets really jumbled up, and you're like, okay, what should I get? Why you need the perfect ratio and the perfect card set to complete your build, and then that's just so much fun. And yeah. Back then, I think my personal favorite was a falcon. Oh, it's falcon, not a hawk. Yeah, it's a falcon strike hunter. Yeah, sniper, because you can use a dagger and the shield, and then you just send out your falcon, just falcon strike, and then you do like 4k 5k damage on other like ill-equipped people, and then you just kill people really fast with your falcon. What the build is it's like what? It's a dex, int, and vitality for survival. Because you have a shield, you survive better. You have int, so you can do more damage. You have dex, so you cast faster because it's spell you have to cast it. So yeah, RO, in my opinion, is the best skin for stats and skill distribution, because every class can be built differently for different purposes. That's affected by both stat and skill. That's what makes DFO so special. I kind of rambled on into like nothing now. Talking about DFO. I've been talking about RO, which is, I have to say, possibly my second favorite game at this point. I mean, because DFO is just more actiony, and I personally like this kind of action. So yeah, RO always gonna be in my memories. I guess in a way it's the first #1 spot, because I will never forget it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this episode of DFO Thoughts, which turned into RO Thoughts at the end. But hope you enjoyed it. The next episode is going to be on, I believe I will be making the next episode on Tuesday, because that is the release date for DFO. This episode is kind of late actually. So currently we're already counting down at DO2. So 2 more days. And according to the DFO stream, so not the stream, the Facebook, there is going to be a stream tomorrow on DFO Twitch. Then there will be a 24-hour broadcasting, and then it will be hosted by the CEO and by the I believe that's a community manager. And then there will be like fan art contest, and there will be some gameplay narration, and then there will be a Neopo building tour, and yeah, live countdown to open beta part 1. It's going to be on air 1 AM PDT, Pacific Daytime, which is my time zone, but I already changed my clock to UTC because that's when the game is gonna open, right? It's basically 8 hours behind. Yeah, we are 8 hours behind UTC, but it's Pacific Daytime, not because it's daylight saving time. So then it's actually 7 hours difference instead of 8 hours. Normally it's 8 hours. Anyways, yeah. So hopefully you guys will be enjoying watching the 24-hour stream. I know I'll be, because I'm hyped. I'm gonna be watching the stream, and I will be there at 1 AM downloading the game and trying to get my ass in there. That's for sure. Alright, so I hope to see you guys in the game, and yeah, enjoy.